Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Lisa Dublin. I'm a health and life coach and a speaking coach, and I help women and professionals to lead, to speak, and to live with confidence because it makes a difference who you are and how you show up in the world. Opportunities open when you believe that you can take those decisions, take those leaps, step out of your comfort zone, all of the things. This morning, the topic is answers in disguise, and I want to begin right away with the story of the drowning man. Or maybe I should tell my little story first, okay? Let me do that. And you know what? Also supposed to be on Facebook this morning. So I'm checking to see if that is even happening. Let's see. Maybe not. Yes, it's actually I'm on Facebook again. I made that decision. Let me just get back there, just transmit everywhere because I think that the world needs hope. The world definitely needs to be inspired, and that's what I'm here, inspirer in chief. And so I was just like, let me start all over again. For those of you who don't know, back in May, my account was hacked and subsequently suspended and then disabled. Like almost 5,000 friends, whatever, almost 8,000 between my page and my profile. And for a bit there, I was like, you know what? If Facebook is going to be that way, because I have still not gotten any answers, or it's not for lack of trying, let me just get off. But you know what? Yeah, we need the platform. So here I am. Anyway, let me tell you this story that talks about sometimes we get the answers and the answers are not what we think they should be, and so we can actually discard them. I went to the supermarket some time ago and I didn't have a loonie, like a loose dollar coin, loonie, it's called here in Canada, for the cart. Anyway, I still went in. I was like, Lord, I need a cart because I'm the kind of person who believes that, God loves me. I'm a favored daughter and I will get what I ask for. So I was like, Lord, I need a cart. So please, by all means, let it be that I find a cart that's untethered. So I went into the card area, and yes, there was a card that was not attached. I didn't need to put in a loon. It was loose. Okay. When I pulled it out, there was a bit of like wrappers. Somebody had put like a drink cart or drink, you know, can in the cart and so on. So I was like, ew, I don't want to touch any of this. This is not what I asked for. This is not what I asked for. And I kept looking around because I asked God for a cart. And then it occurred to me, well, why don't you just, I had some tissue or whatever. Why don't you just take out what is in the cart? And then you have the card that you asked for. Then you have the card that you asked for. So I just quickly, used some tissue. I think I had a bag or whatever, and removed a bit of garbage from the grocery cart. And I had my shopping cart. And I went in, did my shopping, went back out, and just that experience got me thinking about how many of us look at our answers as work and then disregard them because we're looking for something that is just totally polished and all ready for us. But actually, the answer is in the work. Do you know that story? And I put it up here, the story of the drowning man. I want to read it. It's not very long, so bear with me. And this is the story. A fellow was stuck on his rooftop in a flood and he was praying to God for help. Soon, a man in a rowboat came by and the fellow shouted to the man on the roof, "Jump in, I can save you." And the stranded man shouted back, "No, it's okay. I'm praying to God and he's going to save me." And so the rowboat went along. Then a motorboat came by and the guy in the motorboat shouted, "Jump in, I can save you." To this, the stranded man said, "No thanks. I'm praying to God and He's going to save me. I have faith." And so there went the motorboat as well. Then a helicopter came by and the pilot shouted down, "Grab this rope and I will lift you to safety." To this, the stranded man replied again, "No thanks. I'm praying to God and He's going to save me. I have faith." And so the helicopter too reluctantly flew away. And soon the water rose above the rooftop and the man drowned. He went to heaven. He finally got his chance to discuss the whole situation with God, at which point he exclaimed, I had faith in you, but you didn't save me. You let me drown, and I don't understand why. And to this, God replied, I sent you a rowboat, a motorboat, and a helicopter. What more did you expect? I think based on my experience, I can answer that question for that man who drowned and and found God, went to heaven, whatever. Okay. I think the answer to what more did you expect would be, Lord, I expected the answer to come exactly as I asked and imagined it would be. I did not have the capacity to have an open mind enough to see that if I had just simply done a bit of work, taken the rowboat, the motorboat, the helicopter, that too was one way to access the answer that you had given me. And so the question is, what about you? What have you been asking of life? What have you been praying about? What do you want? And are you looking at it as work? You know, all of this is going on in the supermarket. Like while I am shopping, I'm thinking to myself, isn't that sometimes what happens in relationships? That, okay, you get somebody who needs work in the areas that can be worked upon, but because you're expecting a certain kind of life, you don't want to put in the work in the relationship. And so you let it slide. And when I thought about that example, I followed it up with the caveat, the warning that relationships obviously are not about changing people. You guys know that. It's not, no, it's not about changing people. You do not want to be changing people. But the thing is that, is there like, I remember when I was like getting with my husband very early, like we've been married now for 20 years. And back in the day, I didn't like how he dressed. Oh my goodness. I had this friend and a friend overseas, and I remember saying to her, I just don't like how he dresses. And she's like, what you already have, you can't change. Like he was already kind to me, already very considerate, already the kind of person who, made my heart feel safe. So she's like, you could change the dressing. That is, those things can be changed. And so obviously the caveat is between the things that you can change in a relationship and the things that I think it's kind of wishful thinking, unless you're going to be praying a lot to be like, change his nature, this person doesn't love me but I'm with him, that kind of thing. So you kind of have to have a bit of wisdom where that is concerned. So that was it for relationships. Like sometimes you have a good relationship, you just have to put in a bit of work to get to the kind of relationship that will make sense for you, that people need to be taught how to treat each other, things that perhaps they did not know before, that if you can work on those things, the answer came. You got the partner that you wanted, but looking at all the work you have to do, you're like, no, 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 I don't want to do this. Or what about the job that you've been praying for and hankering after, and you get it, and you get in there, and it's not all that you want it to be? Is it possible that you can make this answer what you want it to be by doing the work? Sometimes the answer does not come in the lovely tinseled packaging. Sometimes you have to do the work. And, honestly, it's amazing what God uses to really like move you along. I'm having these eureka moments while going through Superstore, while doing the shopping, just because I chose to look at what I thought was not an answer as the answer, and to do the little bit of work to just remove the little bit of stuff that was in the trolley, take it out, I put in there was no, honestly, there was no garbage bin. That's the next thing. So I put it on the side. I was like, okay, these attendants really should have been like cleaning out these things or whatever. But whatever the reason, I asked for a cart. I didn't have the loony because I'm not even sure where my loony went to. I had no cash on me, right? And there's the cart. But no, that cannot be the answer because the cart was not cleaned. How many of us just miss our blessings because the cart is full of what we don't want? Because the things that we can control, the answer is here, and all it requires is a little more work. How many of us Do not take that leap and say, yes, this is my answer. This is mine, because it looks like it is work. And can I tell you something? A lot of our answers lie in the work, doesn't it? Don't they? A lot of our answers to the things that we want in life, they lie, they're before us, but it looks like work. It doesn't come all nicely packaged like a Christmas present. It comes in the form of an opportunity to work at something. It comes in the form, you ask for perhaps loyal friends and that kind of thing, and you perhaps get some friends. Yes, the loyalty is there, but there are other things that need to be worked on in the relationship. Do you walk away and say, hey, this is not who I want? Or do you look at that person and be like, okay, the major things are there. Let's see if we can work this out. This is a reminder this morning to perhaps look a little closer and to see whether your answer is already here in your life, in your circle, in your sight, and you're not looking at it as the answer because you're expecting something that is already done for you, like package, like drop in your lap, like fall from the sky. Doesn't happen that way. Many times the things that you want are in the place of work. Now, obviously, I think we need to be mindful of the fact, to know that the effort is going to pay off, and to kind of envision what it can look like if you put in the work. That for me is always a sign of, should I proceed with this opportunity or not, even if it doesn't look very attractive to me now? Can I see myself putting in the work, and what will be the result of that? If you can find it in yourself to do those things, yes, by all means, go forward. And if you look at it and you be like, okay, I don't think the returns are going to be worth it, maybe I can look around, then go ahead and look around. But here's the last thing before I leave. You know, if you make the wrong decision, it's not the end of the world. I was speaking to somebody the other day who is just kind of hesitating on making a life-changing decision with good reason. And I said to that person, hey, take the leap, take the opportunity. If it doesn't work, you can always go back to what you knew before, can't you? If it doesn't work out for you, you can always go back to what you knew before. That might always be an option. I think we hear a lot of these things about burn all the bridges, just eyes forward, you never look back. Yes, you look back. Sometimes you've got to go back to mommy and daddy's house. You've got to go back to perhaps the friends that you didn't think you'd ever need anymore, or the opportunities that you passed on because you thought you were going for something better. There will always be that. So does that mean then that you don't take the opportunity? Yes, you do. Or does that mean that you have in the back of your mind, okay, I'm not going to try hard to make this opportunity work because I know that there's always going to be another opportunity? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So that's what I've got for you today. That experience got me thinking about how many opportunities are we passing by because these opportunities are coming packaged and with the wardrobe of work. You guys, let's not do that. Go for it. Look at it. If there's even an inkling that, hey, this is what I might have been asking for. This looks like it can answer my problem, the answer to my prayer. Go ahead, see if it's going to work, because the opportunities are disguised as work a lot of the time, like my shopping cart was. All right, guys, I have a couple things to tell you this morning. So I'm going to be on for the rest of the week. Okay, did you guys hear? There's a lovely display of alliteration. Alliteration is, we're gonna pack a punch with pretty Polly, like that sense of that ability to use the same letter or sound over a set of words that are closely linked together, like I just did. I think one of the great examples of it was from Jasmine Crockett. She is that U.S. Democrat House of Representatives lady who, she had a clap back when Marjorie Taylor Greene said to her about, you can't hear because your fake eyelashes are in the way or whatever. And I mean, she came back with a line for the books. We're going to look at that tomorrow because I want, like, when I want to perhaps on a Thursday or Friday to also do some teacher training. I've got an audio event coming up on LinkedIn that I want to tell you about. I'm going to put it up later today. So I hope that you attend. It's all the way in September, but we want as many people to attend as possible. And it will be on how to speak with confidence, right? So I'm starting the process now, helping people to be able to communicate well. It's important because you have something to say that people want to hear. I heard a speaker yesterday. I was on a training yesterday, and he was saying that the way that he overcame his fear of speaking was when he realized he was coached right there in the moment before getting on stage to recognize that there was somebody right there who had spent their last dollar to come hear something that was life changing. And here he was thinking about himself and his own self consciousness when that person just absolutely needed the information. And it's something that I teach in my programs. I have Speak with Confidence that's coming up next year. And I have Find Your Fire coming up later this year. And it really is to speak to your thirsty person. Speak to the person who needs to hear what you have to say. That person is thirsty for it. When you focus on that as opposed to anything else, you are better able to overcome the fear. And so tomorrow, in that vein of training people to be great speakers and communicators, I'll be doing a training on how to really pack a punch in your speech. Use alliteration. I know about alliteration from my literature, but it's something that speakers use as well because it's dealing with words. It's that ability to not just write a speech, but then to go in and to put the seasoning, as I like to call it, put the seasoning, put the condiments. You put, I don't know, you dress it up nicely. You use the things that will give it a better taste. All of these things matter. So join me same time tomorrow, and we're going to do a little bit of speaker training for those who are interested in speaking, just for your business, in your professionalism, or for speaking as a career. So that's coming up also. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Did you guys hear that Jennifer, what's her name, JLo and Ben Affleck broke up again? Yeah, that just happened. And so, I mean, I'm not very much into the pop culture, but I think the takeaways are always there. Like, okay, so what does it take to have a great relationship? We'll be discussing that on Friday. So come with your ideas, come so we can talk somewhat. Okay. Saturday, let me put this on the screen. Join me on YouTube only. I love to talk about God. I don't care. He's the best thing in my life. And on Saturdays, I'm really just taking that time on YouTube to talk about the journey of faith and some of the things that, in my own journey of faith, God has revealed and how he works in this whole journey. Because I feel like if you are in Christendom, you have like the big strategy, but there are tactics within the journey of faith that we actually need to hone in on. And lastly, you guys, I'm starting again, especially for my Edmontonian friends, my Alberta friends, my Canadian friends. We're starting again with the Sunday interviews. And Greg Davis is well known here in our Edmontonian circles. He's a radio host and publisher, and we'll be talking all things. We're not talking, his program is about talking trash. But I don't know that we're talking about trash because we're talking to him, and he's such a delightful person. I've been interviewed on his radio station here in Edmonton, and he's going to be here on Sunday to just talk to me just about life, what he's up to. He's done some great things here in Edmonton in the publishing arena and the events arena. And I intend as we go along to kind of bring, do the Oprah thing, be interviewing people in that kind of explorative but casual and nice, sit down Sunday afternoon kind of vibe. So I hope you can join me for all of these things that are coming up. And lastly, hey, have you no, that is not the right one. Have you seen my latest podcast? So you can go to my website, and you can go to the podcast section, or you can also go to the YouTube channel, Basement Chronicles. The podcast is also housed there, and a lot more people are accessing the podcast on YouTube. So go ahead, join the fun. It's there. Actually, I am recording my first video podcast today. I'm so excited. I've never done this before, just the video part of it. So it will be like a new step up for Basement Chronicles, the podcast. Okay. All right, you guys, I'll see you tomorrow when we talk about alliteration. What is that? Check it out tomorrow, same time, 6 a.m. So, what I'm doing now, guess what I'm doing now? I'm jumping onto Instagram. Do you want to join me? Why don't you jump over to Instagram? If you don't have Instagram, I think you should perhaps get you kind of need an Instagram channel, an Instagram handle. I'm gonna be over there. It's a lot more intimate. We're talking about the same thing, but oh, you know what happens? I always give more information on Instagram. It's just more interactive. So please join me on Instagram now for a couple minutes where we talk about answers to your questions and how sometimes those answers come in the form of work. And so we need that discerning for us to be able to see what's in front of us. Please like and share this video and join me here tomorrow on Basement Chronicles Live. I'll see you guys.